Guys, welcome back to my another video. In this video, we are going to learn about debugging application failures. Actually, what is debugging application failures? Debugging is a key component which outlines the approach to debug application failures in AWS, which emphasizes the tools and techniques. The key services for AWS we'll discuss in upcoming slides. First of all, we'll go and brief introduction to debugging. Debugging application failures involves identifying the root cause of issues in an application. Example, crashes, performance degradation, incorrect outputs, or service unavailability, and resolving them. In context of AWS, this often means working with cloud-based services, logs, metrics, and monitoring tools to pinpoint issues in distributed systems, serverless architectures, or containerized environments. Debugging typically focuses on application code issues, configuration issues, infrastructure issues, integration issues. The key services for debugging, which is relevant to AWS Developer Exam, it provides several tools and services to help debug application failures. Here's a breakdown of most relevant ones as stated for an AWS Developer Associate exam. What we need to learn for that is Amazon CloudWatch, Amazon Web Services, X-Ray, CloudTrail, and so on. We'll discuss in this video. First of all, we'll go with Amazon CloudWatch. The purpose of it is it should be centralized monitoring and logging services. The use of debugging here is use CloudWatch logs to collect and analyze per application logs. For example, Lambda functions automatically sends logs to CloudWatch where you can view errors or custom log messages. The alarms we set here is it is set up alarms to get notified about anomalies. For example, higher rates in API gateway. Example of Amazon CloudWatch. If a Lambda function fails, check CloudWatch logs for stack traces or timeout errors. Use metrics to see if the function is hitting the memory or timeout limits. Next, we'll go with AWS X-Ray. It traces the request across distributed systems. For example, API gateway to Lambda to DynamoDB. It identifies the latency bottlenecks or errors in maps, which enables X-Ray for Lambda or ECS to debug the request flows and pinpoint failing the components. For example, if an API call is slow, use X-Ray to trace the request and see if the delay is in Lambda execution or downstream DynamoDB query. Next, we'll learn about Amazon Event Bridge. It debugs this event-driven architecture by checking event delivery failures. The use of debugging here is check if events are being triggered or delivered correctly for SQS, SNS, or custom events. Inspect event payloads to ensure they contain the expected data. For example, if an SQS queue isn't processing messages, use Event Bridge to verify if events are reaching the queue if there's a misconfiguration in the event source. Next, we'll learn about Amazon Web Services CloudTrail. Actually, it audits API calls to troubleshoot permission issues or configuration changes. For example, access denied errors. Here, the use of debugging is investigate permission issues. Yeah, as I said earlier, access denied errors. Verify if API calls to services like S3 or DynamoDB are successful or failing. For example, if an application can't access an S3 bucket, check CloudWatch logs to confirm if the IAM role has the correct permission and the API cell call was made. Example of debugging scenario. We'll see how AWS Lambda function integrated with API gateway, it returning 500 internal servers to clients. The debugging steps, how it debugs by mastering the debugging techniques, resource and sample debugging. Check these are the steps we need to follow for debugging. Check the CloudWatch logs, enable X-Ray, verify IAM permissions, test locally, check API gateway, fix and monitor. In upcoming videos, we'll learn more about this thing. Do like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Thank you for watching this video.